Marley was dead.
Hello, I'm Keith Cate. This is perhaps the most haunting part of A Christmas Carol. The ghost of Christmas yet to come says nothing, but his silence speaks louder than any words. With a simple gesture, he shows Scrooge what his future may hold if he refuses to change. In the shadows, Scrooge witnesses cold laughter from men who mock another man's death, and then a humble home where sorrow hangs heavy in the air. Finally, the spirit leads him to a lonely grave marked with Scrooge's own name. It is Dickens at his darkest, a vision meant to shake Scrooge to his core and stir a desperate hope for redemption before it's too late. The bell struck 12. Scrooge looked about him for the third and final ghost and saw it not. But as the last stroke ceased to vibrate, he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded and coming like a mist along the ground towards him. Slowly, gravely, silently. It was shrouded in a deep black garment which concealed its head, its face, its form, and left nothing of it visible save one outstretched hand. Its mysterious presence filled Scrooge with solemn dread. "I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come?" The spirit gave him no reply, but pointed onward with the hand. "You are about to show me the shadows of the things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit?" The upper portion of the garment was contracted for just an instant, as if the Spirit had inclined its head. That was the only answer he received. "Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen. But as I know that your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to be another man from what I was, I am ready to bear you company and do so with a thankful heart. But will you not speak to me?" It gave him no reply. The hand pointed straight before them. "Well, then lead on, Spirit. Lead on. This night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me. Lead on, Spirit, lead on." They scarcely seemed to enter the city, but there they were in the heart of it. The Spirit stopped beside one little knot of businessmen, and observing that the hand was pointed to them, Scrooge advanced to listen to their talk. "I don't know much about it either way. All I know is he is dead." "When did he die?" "Last night, I believe."
"But why? What was the matter with him? I thought he would never die."
"God knows." "Well, what's he done with all of his money?" "Haven't had. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me. That's all I know."
"Well, it's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anybody to go to it, so goodbye, goodbye, goodbye." Scrooge looked towards the Spirit for an explanation, but they left the scene and went into an obscure part of the town where Scrooge had never penetrated before, although he recognized its situation and its bad repute. The ways were foul and narrow. The shops and the houses were wretched. The whole quarter reeked with crime and with filth and misery. And far in this den of infamous resort, there was a low-browed beetling shop below a penthouse roof where iron, old rags, bottles, bones, and greasy offal were bought. And sitting in the wares that he dealt in was a gray-haired rascal, nearly 70 years of age, who smoked his pipe in all the calm luxury of retirement. Now, Scrooge and the phantom came into the presence of this man, just as a woman with a heavy bundle slunk into the shop. But she had scarcely entered when another woman, similarly laden, came in too.
Hey. Let the maid alone be first,
Cried she who had entered first.
let the laundress alone be second.
You couldn't have been in a better place. Come on in. Come into my parlor,
Said old Joe, removing his pipe from his mouth. Now the woman who had already spoken threw her bundle on the floor, and then she sat down in a flaunting manner on a stool and looked with a bold defiance at the other woman.
What are the odds, eh? What are the odds, Mrs. Dilber?
Said the maid.
Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did. Who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose. Well, if he wanted to keep them after he was dead, wicked old Scrooge, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying, gasping out his last alone there by himself. Would you open that bundle, old Joe, and let me know the values of it?
But old Joe allowed the laundress, Mrs. Dilber, to go first. Some sheets and towels, a little wearing apparel, some boots. They were examined and appraised by old Joe, who chalked the sums upon the wall, then added them up into a total.
Hey, now undo my bundle,
Said the first woman. Old Joe went down on his knees for the greater convenience of opening it.
What do you call this? Bed curtains? You don't mean to say you took them down, rings and all, with him lying there?
Well, I do, and why not?
His blankets and his shirt?
Well, whose else's do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without 'em, I dare say. They would have wasted that shirt if it hadn't been for me.
What do you call a wasting of it?
Well, putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off him again.
Scrooge listened to this dialogue in horror. He viewed them with a detestation and disgust which could hardly have been greater had they been obscene demons marketing the corpse itself. But the scene changed again. And now Scrooge almost touched a bed, on which, beneath a ragged sheet, there lay something covered up. It was the body of a man. Scrooge glanced towards the phantom. Its steady hand was pointed to the head. That cover was so carelessly adjusted that the slightest raising of it, the motion of a finger upon Scrooge's part, would have disclosed the face.
Spirit, I understand you, and I would do it if I could, but I have not the power, Spirit. I have not the power.
Again it seemed to look upon him.
Spirit, I beseech you, could you at least show me some emotion or tenderness connected with a death, or this dark chamber will be forever present to me?
The phantom spread its dark robe before him for a moment, like a wing, and then withdrawing it, revealed poor Bob Cratchit's house. Inside they found the family, the mother and the children seated round the fire. They were quiet, very quiet. The noisy little Cratchits were as still as statues in one corner, and they sat looking up at Peter, who had a book before him. The mother and her daughters were engaged in sewing, but surely they were very quiet. The mother laid her work down on the table. The color hurts my eyes. It makes them weak by candlelight. And I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for all the world. It must be near his time. But I think he has walked a little slower than he used these few last evenings. They were all very quiet again. Well, I've known him.
I've known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder, very fast indeed. Oh, but he was so light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble.
There's your father at the door. His tea was ready for him on the hob, and they all tried who should help him to it most. Then the two young Cratchits came, and they got upon his knees and laid each child a little cheek against his face, as if to say, "Don't mind it, Father. Don't be grieved." Bob was cheerful with them and spoke pleasantly to all the family. And then Mrs. Cratchit said, "So you went today then, Robert?" Oh, yes, I did, my dear. I did, yes. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll see it often. You see, I promised him that we would walk there on a Sunday. My little child, my little child. He couldn't help it. If he could have helped it, he and his child would have been farther apart perhaps than they were. He left them and went upstairs into the room above, which was hung with Christmas, decorated. There was a chair, and it was set close beside the body of the child. And there were signs of someone having been there lately. Bob sat down in it. And when he had thought a little and composed himself, he kissed the child's face. He was reconciled to what had happened. And he went back down again. And all the family drew about the fire and they talked. The mother and daughters working still. And then Bob said, I am sure that we shall none of us forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? Never, Father. And I know, my dears, that when we recollect how patient and how mild he was, although he was just a little child, we shall not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget poor Tiny Tim in doing it. No, never, Father. Well, then, I am happy, said Bob. I'm very happy. Spectre, something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. But will you just tell me what man that was whom we saw lying dead upon the bed? The ghost of Christmas yet to come gave him no reply, but conveyed him as before until they reached an iron gate, a churchyard. Here then the wretched man whose name he had now to learn lay underneath the ground. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one. Scrooge advanced towards it, trembling. Spirit, before I draw near to that stone to which you point, would you answer me one question? Are these the shadows of the things that will be? Or are they the shadows of the things that may be only? I know there's a difference. Still the ghost pointed downward to the grave by which it stood. The spirit was immovable as ever. Scrooge crept towards it, trembling as he went. And then, following the finger, he read upon that stone of the neglected grave his own name. Ebenezer Scrooge. Am I that man who lay upon the bed? The finger pointed from the grave to Scrooge and back again. No, you hear me, Spirit. I am not the man I was. Why show me all of this if I am past all hope? Oh, good Spirit, assure me that I may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart, and I will try to keep it all the year.
I will live in the past, in the present, and in the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me that I may wash away the writing on this stone.
The darkness has shown Scrooge what might be: a life wasted, a child gone, and a heart turned cold. But there's still hope. Stay with us. In Part 6, Scrooge awakens to a new morning filled with light, laughter, and the chance to change his life forever. I'm Keith Cate. We'll see you soon for the final part of A Christmas Carol.